You probably think ancient humans walked around with mouths smelling like a dumpster fire and teeth falling out left and right. But if you look at skulls from 15,000 years ago, their teeth are often straighter and healthier than yours are right now. Our ancestors did not have fancy electric toothbrushes or minty paste, yet they were not all walking around toothless by age 20. The truth is that our modern obsession with scrubbing away plaque is actually a desperate response to a problem we created for ourselves. We like to think we are the peak of hygiene, but we are really just cleaning up the mess of a broken food system. It turns out that ancient humans had some pretty wild methods for keeping their pearly whites functional without a single drop of fluoride. They were using everything from tree branches and bird feathers to some truly disgusting liquids you would never want near your face. In this video, we are going to look at how they survived the pre-dentist era and why our modern teeth are actually much weaker. We have been told that history is a long line of people being dirty and miserable until the Industrial Revolution saved us. But when it comes to teeth, the skeletal record shows that we might have actually taken a huge step backward. Archaeologists have found skulls from the Paleolithic era with almost zero cavities and perfectly aligned jawbones. They did not have braces or wisdom teeth removal surgeries because their mouths were actually big enough to fit all their teeth. So what was their secret? It mostly comes down to the fact that they were not eating a diet designed by a corporate laboratory. Before we had white bread, sugary cereal, and caramel macchiatos, we had tough, fibrous roots and wild game. Chewing on these hard, raw foods acted like a natural scrub for the enamel, physically scraping away food particles as they ate. It is like the difference between eating a crunchy apple and eating a piece of soggy cake that sticks to your molars. Ancient humans were basically brushing their teeth every time they sat down for a meal just by the act of chewing. But they did not just rely on food. They actually had tools that worked surprisingly well for thousands of years. One of the oldest tools in the human kit is the chew stick, which is still used in many parts of the world today. The most famous version comes from the Salvadora persica tree, better known as the miswak. You basically take a twig, peel back the bark, and chew on the end until the fibers fray out into a little brush. It sounds primitive, but modern studies show that the miswak contains natural antibiotics and silica that kill bacteria and strengthen gums. These twigs were the original travel toothbrushes, and honestly, they were probably more effective than the cheap plastic ones we buy today. By the time we get to ancient Egypt, people were getting even more creative with their dental care routines. The Egyptians were obsessed with hygiene and actually invented the first recorded version of toothpaste around 5,000 years ago. However, you would not want to put this stuff on your brush because the ingredients were incredibly abrasive and harsh. Their recipe included crushed eggshells, pumice stone, myrrh, and even the ashes of oxen hooves. They would mix these powders with a little water to create a paste and rub it onto their teeth using their fingers. While it definitely cleaned off the stains, it was so gritty that it probably wore down their enamel over time. But for the Egyptians, having a clean mouth was a sign of status and social standing in their very structured society. They even had the first designated dentists, like a man named Hesi-Ra, who served under the pharaoh Djoser in 2600 BC. This shows that dental pain was a known issue even back then. But it usually only hit the wealthy who could afford soft, sweet foods. The Greeks and Romans took things to an even weirder level when they decided to experiment with liquid mouthwash. If you think your blue minty mouthwash burns, imagine rinsing your mouth with human urine every single morning. The Romans believed that the ammonia in urine acted as a natural bleaching agent to keep their smiles bright and white. They even imported high-quality urine from Portugal because they thought it was stronger and more effective than the local stuff. It sounds absolutely revolting to us now, but chemically speaking, ammonia is a very effective cleaning agent. This is a perfect example of how humans have always been willing to do weird things just to look better for social reasons. The Roman upper class was terrified of looking old or diseased, so they literally bleached their teeth with waste products. However, the real turning point for human teeth did not come from a new brush or a better mouthwash. It came from a massive shift in how we get our calories, known as the Neolithic Revolution, or the birth of farming. Once we stopped hunting and started growing wheat and barley, our dental health took a massive nosedive. Sticky carbohydrates like bread stay in the mouth much longer and provide a constant feast for bacteria like Streptococcus mutans. These bacteria eat the sugar and poop out acid, which melts your enamel and creates those painful holes we call cavities. For the first time in history, humans started dealing with widespread tooth decay and massive infections that could actually kill them. Because they did not have antibiotics, a simple tooth abscess could spread to the jaw or the blood and end your life. This is where the social commentary comes in because we often blame people for having bad teeth due to laziness. But the reality is that our biology is simply not designed to handle the amount of processed sugar we consume every day. We are living in an evolutionary mismatch where our bodies are still stuck in the Stone Age while our plates are full of chemicals. By the time the 1800s rolled around, things got even crazier with the invention of the modern toothbrush. The first mass-produced brush was actually invented by a man named William Addis while he was sitting in a prison cell. He watched a guard using a rag to clean his teeth and thought he could do something much better than that. He saved a small animal bone from his dinner, bored some holes in it, and stuck bunches of cowtail hair through the holes. When he got out of jail, he started a company that made him incredibly wealthy because everyone wanted this new tool. But there was a catch because those natural animal bristles stayed damp and became breeding grounds for nasty bacteria. It was not until the invention of nylon in the late 1930s that we got the hygienic brushes we use today. Even with all these tools, we are still fighting a losing battle against the food industry and our own lifestyle choices. We spend billions of dollars on whitening strips and veneers because we have tied our self-worth to the color of our teeth. In the past, a healthy tooth was one that could crush bone and chew through raw leather without breaking. Today, a healthy tooth is one that looks like a glowing white piano key, even if it is technically falling apart underneath. We have traded functional strength for aesthetic perfection, which is a very modern way of looking at the human body. Ancient humans did not need a 12-step morning routine because their lifestyle did not actively poison their mouths. They used what they had in nature to keep their breath fresh and their gums strong for as long as possible. So the next time you are standing at the sink scrubbing away, remember that you are doing it because of the sandwich you ate for lunch. If we lived like our ancestors, we might not need the paste, but we would definitely miss the soft food and the Netflix. The history of the toothbrush is really just a history of us trying to outrun our own bad habits. Check out this video over here if you want to see more weird history facts.